All right, our objective today is kind of what I would call corrective modeling. So what we did so far is just kind of slap something together that's kind of like the building that we're actually modeling, right? Elevations are kind of moving that direction. We have some materials, but we all kind of know it's not really fully right yet. So we're going to look at some more detailed stuff about the floor plan and elevations and try and understand the architectural condition a little better. And then we're going to model some more detailed elements. And this stuff is, in my opinion, not very intuitive. So pay pretty close attention because we're going to be doing some sort of weird things. So anyway, let's jump into the floor plan and start to really kind of look at what's going on. So one thing that we didn't really talk about yet that we notice readily apparently in the floor plan is that there are these little bump outs. And by that I mean these little things right here. Some of you started modeling them, some of you haven't yet. But what you kind of need to do is look at the elevations to really understand what's happening with those bump outs. So in the elevations, right, we have, this is that garage, and it's all sort of a lap siding material, but then the garage door itself actually sits into a cutout. Now that doesn't mean really much in that elevation, but this part of the elevation, it's very clear what's happening. We have lap siding, and then we have an inlay for plaster with a window. And I guess we could go to AD40 and look at what that detail is. Here. Oh, never mind.
I don't think it was AD40.
What detail was that? Yeah, it was AD. Well, he's just showing us the one material. He's not showing us the transition. But anyway, I'll tell you what the transition is. In the floor plan, let's go there again. So that's what this transition is, right? So this is a lap siding bump out, and then it goes back to a plaster wall. So what I have modeled is actually not really what's going on. In reality, these are all going to be plaster, and then we're going to model a secondary wall on the outside of it that's going to be our lap siding wall. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we'll all switch these to plaster. And then in plan, use your create similar, create a lap siding wall, and let me just make sure I check the extents of it. Yeah, then you'll just kind of model it appropriately to what you see here. So I'm just going to place it temporarily, something kind of like this. I'll do dimensions later. And then we got another one a little bit beyond that grid line. It looks like it's, let's see, that's 2 feet, 9 feet. So something kind of right here. Okay, so then you just take your dimension and you just go to apply, go to apply, go to apply, and then grab that. So this was 1 foot, this was 2 feet, this one was 9 feet, and I don't recall the next dimension. Oh, it doesn't tell you. Well, it gives you it from here. So 6.5, call it 7 feet. All right, so, but plan isn't going to be enough. Okay, I want to make that super obvious to all of you. Just doing that in plan, when you get into elevation, that's not going to be enough, because if you look at the elevation of what's happening in this particular condition, let's go ahead and do that real fast. That's the next page. Or was it this page? Oh, it was this page. All right, so that's this right here. So basically what you've got to do is model a wall in between and then lift the base constraint up above the door. So you could just do that by create similar. We're going to go from here to here. Make sure they're aligned properly. Like that. And then you can just lift your base constraint. I'm going to make this 8 feet for now. I don't have my door in there, but that creates your little inlay wall situation. If you guys get a little break like this, you can't really see it very well up there. But see how my wall is just like not really well attached? You can use the align tool to connect that. So just do AL. Make sure you're grabbing the inside face of that wall. And then grab, oh, looks like there's a disconnection. Let's look at that in second plan. Oh, I see. I have it misaligned. That's why. There we go. All right, and then you just take all those elements and make sure you connect them to the roof. So say attach top to base, connect it there. And I'll drop my door in real quick. So I'm just going to put any double door for now. Let's do a 72 by 84. Oh, it's a sliding. Whoops. Oh, I didn't load a double door yet. All right, well, I'll load a double door and I'll put that in. Okay. So there are a few conditions, mostly on the southern-facing elevations or on the south side of the east and west elevations, that have stuff like this. We're going to be doing the same thing on the other side. A little shortcut here to get this wall in place is to just do a 45-degree mirror. So you can do a DM and just go 45 degrees up there, and it puts a wall down there for us. We can just kind of yank this thing back to there. I think it's in the wrong position. I'll do the align tool. I can use align on a face, which is pretty nifty. I can just align that to that, and there you go. So you can pull that thing all the way across if you'd like, attach the top to the base, pull this thing across over here, and just start modeling that way. So that's one of the cool things about, I think one of the cool things about modeling in 3D is you can just kind of yank your walls and stuff and align them in 3D, and it makes it pretty intuitive. So what questions do you have? None? Okay. So I actually think we're going to start off with a little bit of work time, getting some of these modeled correctly, and then we're going to move into the next thing, which is like a more detailed trim and windows and stuff like that. Any questions? All right.
No.